So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne.
Sorry about that. I just realized that I had the outro playing for the intro. This, not the song, but the actual video. So sorry about that. If you noticed that, guys, sorry about that. I am still sitting at my desk. I just turned my titanium built light off since we're on Unfiltered with Tanya. But yeah, we're gonna get into some stuff. Let me see if this is gonna show my. It's gonna show on titanium built. My kitty is down here actually playing with her scratching post. Okay, kitty, go. That's what we like to see. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. If you guys are new to the channel, this is Unfiltered with Tanya. And I did rescue a kitten yesterday, or on Friday. I'm sorry, on Friday. And so if you hear some stuff in the background, it's just the kitten playing with this little ball. It has a bell on it. So you can't help but to smile about that, right? And I'm glad you guys are all here. Hey, Ladybug. Hey, Casey. Welcome in, everybody. And thank you, Chroma Reels, for gifting 5 memberships. I think I have some memberships to gift out, too. So don't let me forget, y'all, because it's almost the end of the month. Almost the end of the month. Can you believe it? We're already almost like to April. I can't even believe that. So happy birthday to all the April babies. Happy early birthday. This cat is going to be distracted me today. So basically, I wanted to come on here because we were talking on the other channel at the end of our live earlier just about everything that's going on with JLR and Magnolia and just JLR in general, and how a lot of people don't really know who JLR is, I feel like. Now, when I first came to the platform, I didn't know who he was either. I don't even remember my introduction to him. I think it was just like me knowing that he was just a troublemaker. Like I just remember hearing stuff in chats and like seeing things, you know what I mean? Like hearing things in the background about him. And then I I never really was, part of his channel. Now, I did do I'm gonna admit this because I'm able to admit I had a dumbass attack when we were covering Idaho 4, and I thought this was, I think this was one of my it wasn't one of my first cases, but it was one of my few, my handful of first cases. And I took what he said because he was like, I remember he said something like, they found the killers of the Idaho 4. It was 2 people. And I think he said one of their names was Chad or Chris. I can't remember the names exactly, but like one of the last names was, I think, White. I don't know if any of that rings a bell to you, if it's like fraternity brother or something. But I remember he said that, and I was like, oh my gosh, JLR just said this, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't double check. Like I should have. I should have double checked because you always double check. So now I never question my work because I never, ever, ever rely on someone else's word. I never will do that. That was the one time it happened to me, and that was the last time it happened to me, which I think it happens to every creator, like in a way. That computer just turned on. So that's crazy. Yes, please hit the like button. That'd be great. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for all being here. So we're going to learn a little bit about JLR and his past. I was going over, like, I don't know how true Playboard is, or I know that there's a couple different websites, like Social Blade is not very, I don't know, it's not very legit. So like if you want to, like, I don't know, like about the numbers, right? They'll say that, like, some people, they'll say that they make like $22 to $100 a month when you know damn well they're making like 5,000 or something. Do you know what I mean? It's, the numbers are usually off a lot. Now, I don't know about Playboard, but Playboard is a little different. You can look up the super chats on Playboard, and there's my kitten. And oh, come on, kitty, don't do that. Lay beside me. So there's my out of control cat. So on Playboard, he made, you ready for this? For the month of February? And super chats. I'm not talking about views. He had hella views. We all know that because he was down Nancy Guthrie's binoculars and all, I feel like. He made in super chats $33,178. $33,000. I don't think I've made $33,000 since I've been on this platform. I can tell you right now, I haven't. I have not. And I've been on this platform for 3 years, almost 4. That's just super chats. What? Right, Aries? Yeah. Oh, thank you, Cindy. I love your name. That was my mom's name. He really does need a face music. And Krama, was that you that got that video? Someone got the video today. I forgot about that video. We need to look up that video real quick. So we can all just have a laugh. I think it's actually on Twitter now, isn't it? Oh, Twitter's probably blowing up. Let's see. I'll go over to YouTube. Because was it you, Krama Reels? I saw someone had it. Yeah, it was you. Emergency. Can I use this? You just put it on 2 hours ago, though, so I won't. I'll let you get the views, but it is funny. Let me see if I can find it one. Where did I see it? I know I saw it on probably Nerdy. So basically, I'm going to show you a video. Basically, JLR is in fear for his life because Nerdy Addict, a guy on X, and White Boy Radio, a guy on X and on YouTube, mostly on YouTube. He has a channel. They went down to, they live in Florida, right? They live in Florida. So they just took a little drive down near the area of JLR's house. Nerdy Addict did call, because I did listen to White Boy Radio a little bit today. He did call the sheriff's office or whatever it is down there. And he asked them, like, hey, is it okay if we, we're having this little protest? Is it okay if there's, we stand here and we hold signs? And they were like, yeah, like, do it. Just, that's fine. Well, They go down there. They have a mannequin because they say that he looks like a mannequin. And they, I don't know why I can't find nerdy. I don't know what I'm doing over here. But that's because I'm not looking in the right search bar. Oh, geez, Tanya, get it together. So they go down there. They have their signs. JLR's on his live. And apparently JLR was like freaking out because they were around the corner. And he was like, I'm in fear for my life. I'm going to end this here, but I'm going to keep this up if anybody comes and gets me. And like, come on now. No one's coming to get you. Okay. I think I found it. I think that Molly Golightly had it on hers too. Gosh, geez. Let me see if this is it.
This guy's
okay. Yeah, this is it. So the irony here is, right? She says, I'm coming to Florida. I'll go with you. And I don't even know her. Like, seriously, I'll go with you. I'll camp out in front of this house for a few days. Shit. You know how many views you'd have? It'd be worth it. And Florida, you get a tan, hella tan. I wouldn't need the spray tan. So that would be a good idea. I'll go to Florida. I have family in Florida. But no, JLR can go out and he can stand outside in front of anybody's freaking house that he freaking wants to. And I'm being real like vanilla with my words right now. So he can go and do all that. And, yell at people in front of the courthouse, which, I mean, I'm not saying that I haven't laughed at some of those, Alec Murdaugh, but like, these people are technically innocent until proven guilty. And he's calling them killers and murderers and yelling at them. He's going to people's houses. He's been outside of Nancy Guthrie's for like, she's been missing for 50, 57, 58 days. And he's been out there for 50 of them. Like, are you for real? Are we really living in this world that you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, JLR? But you are going to be so scared if two guys with some signs and a mannequin show up near your home. You coward. No, not I haven't heard about the Frankie picture. I don't think. I did see some stuff earlier on the Twitter. Let's listen to this. Yeah, no, I didn't know about it. Let me know.
Has been stalking me.
So this is JLR.
For years, making numerous videos. So I might have to call the police and file a restraining order against. This is reasonably fear. This is some fear. I got this guy literally in front of my house right now. Seriously.
In front of his house. They were not in front of his house. Not even a little bit.
I got this guy, this stalker by the name of Matt DeMauro. And this guy's been stalking me for like years. Literally makes videos and stalks me. And I'm going to have to file police reports and file a restraining order.
You can tell right there, he's not serious. He's not in fear. Oh, I'm going to have to go get a restraining. You know what I mean? Like, come on, you frivolous lawsuit mother trucker. He has filed so many frivolous lawsuits that he can't even file in some states unless he's got like 1,000% proof. He's got to go through the whole system himself before he can file something. That's sad.
Against him. So we'll just keep this up just in case something happens to me. Somebody busts in the house or whatever like that. But yeah, this is pretty crazy
that's pretty crazy that you would say that another person, that you would put that on another YouTuber. If you said, oh, I'm going to leave this up just in case they bust in my house. Who would do that other than the police? No one was going to bust into your house. There's no views in that. Because then it's over with. Someone goes to jail. You sit out front. And you videotape just like you do. And you make up stories. And you plant fake evidence all over the place. After 40 days, all of a sudden, we're finding shit. You're getting bored out there.
Stalker
Tell me different.
Is on me right now. Whoa. He's literally live streaming in my neighborhood. And he's specifically targeting me. Whoa. All right. So yeah, definitely police reports will be filed, and I'm definitely filing a protection order tomorrow against him.
That's true, but he's out there like saying that people are the people that did this when they're not. Like he's still out there doing shit. People are getting pizza sent to the house, drinks, food. I mean, like what? And I know that he didn't ask for it, but he probably did in a way. He probably was in his chat. I can guarantee it. Oh man, I could really use some food right now. I'm hungry out here. Pizza sounds great. And then one of his crazy people that are on his side, I'm sorry, but gotta be crazy to listen to him sometimes. They take it and they run with it. And they're like, I'm going to order him some Domino's. And then they send Domino's there because they know the address because it takes 2 seconds to get. It's weird. Is it weird? Right, Aries? Right? Yeah. Me, myself, and I, yeah. Maybe I would have pint. But he screams like, you know he does. Do you guys remember when he first started, like, well, this isn't first started streaming. When I first started seeing JLR, he would have his, I got the cat on the desk, but he would be like on the floor, right? And I'm telling you, I'm about to get down on the floor, okay? He would be on the floor, like hunched down, and he would be like this, JLR investigates. I don't know why he did that. He used to do that all the time. I don't know. That's just, I mean, it's nothing bad, but it's just like, it's weird. Yes. I forgot about that. He went there to the motel. Wasn't he knocking on the door? Oh, you said that, knocking on the door. Yeah. But he's in fear for his life.
For sure. Him right here. So yeah, this guy right here. So just in case something happens. So people have been putting, I had to look and I'm like, what the? You know, the only thing you can do when it comes to these stalkers is just take legal action and, you know, let the police handle it. I might have to go contact the police right now and let them know and take appropriate measures, right? Scary stuff. So I think with that,
I forget what county he's in, but we might need to FOIA that phone call.
being said, I'm going to sign off and go handle things, but please pray for me. Please pray for my family. This guy here has been stalking me for years.
Please pray for all the Sandy Hook victims. Please pray for everybody that you messed with. Okay, I'm going to let this play for a minute because I think my dog's out there doing something crazy.
This is the same one that's been calling my house. And he's literally by my house, and I'm reasonably in fear here. So you guys seeing it, documenting it, this stuff is crazy. This is crazy. So I'm calling the police and I am filing a restraining order against this guy. So be safe out there, folks. God is with me. This is, you know, sometimes when you do your reporting, this is this type of stuff that happens. So whew, crazy. So should we end the live or should we just keep going?
I'm scared for my life. I'm going to get the police involved. I'm so afraid, right, of these guys a quarter mile away or more. Even though he's saying they're in front of his house, they're not. He says, should we end the live or should I keep going? Dude, you're not scared. You're not scared of white boy radio. I mean, I would be. I mean, you probably are. You probably are. That's white boy radio. So he's down there with the sign right now. Kind of being iconic with Nerdy Addict. Let me see if I can pull up. Go to the actual, like, his actual things. I know that Nerdy did something. He had a funny video up. It was just a really funny video. What did he do? I text JLR and told him to send Nerdy my way. I'll give him my address. You got something to say to JLR? Say it to me. Oh my goodness. Okay. I wanted to see. It was right here. Look at this. He ain't right.
He said.
So they say that he looks like a mannequin, and he kind of does if you look at him. His face does not change. He does the Zoolander pose in every picture. You know, the bright eyes and the lip pout. Every picture. Tell me he don't. Tell me I'm lying. Oh, I pray for her all the time. I'm like, he looked like Zoolander. I never had anyone to tell that to for a long because I never talk about JLR except for Vincent. Vincent's just like, yeah, you know what I mean? But he does. He looked like Zoolander. I'm gonna start doing that. Oh my, I need my Betty badge. Oh my gosh, I don't have my media badge or nothing out, guys. Or my red flags. It's been a while since we've done what, we haven't been, commentating on people in a while, but this is fun. You gotta admit. Now look at this video. Tell me this doesn't make you laugh. If you think this, tell me if this doesn't look like JLR.
Pray for him and his family, and he was calling 911. You don't got much to say right now, do you? Awfully quiet over there, Jim. No, I'm not stopping at the rest stop. We just stopped.
No, I'm not stopping at the rest stop. We just stopped. He's saying that's JLR. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I wanted to go over some of the Dietz's video because I think it's important. And I'm going to go over Wikipedia real quick, just for the people in the back that are listening that don't know him. Just, I mean, there's more. There's more. This Wikipedia page could get like literally filled with just all kinds of stuff. And Nerdy ain't right. He ain't right. He is not right. He's been taking this too. You want to talk about Petty? Nerdy went to Petty University, okay, with this one, and I'm here for it. You know what I mean? I'm here for it. Like, he was like, "Oh, JLR, I've been meaning to talk about him." So, I mean, and the thing is, if it wasn't for the stuff going on with Magnolia, we wouldn't be talking about JLR probably right now. There'd be some people still talking about him, because there's always going to be those channels out there that, always want to like, that want to talk about, him because of what he's done. But then there's channels like me and other people that just were like, whatever, like we would say stuff when he would do like stupid stuff, like in the Idaho 4 case. Remember, he found somebody like called him and they said that they found a voice recorder, because I have one over there. I'm trying to think what it's called, like a voice recorder in the back of like a trash can or something like that, in the trash can in the back of a store or something like that. And like he happened to find it, or someone found it for him. It was like the craziest thing. And he milked that for like days. And I'm like, there's no way that's true. Like, no way. I don't know if you can hear the kitten. If you guys Son of a bee. Why did I have the sound off? I'm so sorry. I've been reading that for a minute. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Oh, the cat. The cat did it. I didn't have I was on the other page. I was reading away. You did that. We're out of control. I am so sorry. Okay, we're going to read fast this time. I'm so sorry. Look at me over here. I'm going all the way back to the top to see how far I've been muted. Oh my God, I've been muted for so long. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, we're going to do this fast. So sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Yeah, the cat hit she's been hitting all this stuff, the little buttons. Oh my gosh, I should have looked. I know, sure, blame it on the cat. Oh my gosh, I know. I think it was when she was like, oh my gosh, I think she was like, yeah, when she was like up here, like loving on me. Okay. So I don't even know where we were. So I'm just going to read it again. So Jonathan Lee Riches is a convicted fraudster known for many lawsuits he has filed in various district courts in the United States. Riches was incarcerated, which we know, for wire fraud under the terms of a plea bargain, and which I said was like, what did he say? And to get that plea bargain, I'd like to know. His release date was April 30th, 2012. He was arrested for violating his federal probation on December 2012 when he left Eastern District of the state of Pennsylvania without permission. So basically, he got out of prison. He was probably put his parents' house as his residence, because when you leave prison, you have to have a residence like to go to. You have to have that address, that permanent, or not permanent address, but you have to have that residence, right? So he probably put his parents, and that's probably was part of his probation or plea, to get out of jail for like maybe sooner. I don't know. I don't know if he did even get out of jail sooner, but he might have. But he got a plea bargain. So then he left the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. He went to Connecticut and he impersonated the uncle of Adam Lanza, the shooter of the Sandy Hook Elementary School incident. I don't know if you guys heard me when I said that the first time, but I was pissed about that. So basically what he did was he went to another state, which he was on probation or parole. He wasn't allowed to do parole. He wasn't allowed to do it. He goes up there. He impersonates the uncle of the Sandy Hook shooter. Hey, Mike, imagine if one of your kids was one of those Sandy Hook victims. And now look at I'm going to read you all the people that not all the people, just a little bit of the people that he sued. Since January 8th, 2006. So 20 years ago. So he's sued more people now. I don't know why we need to update this. He's filed over 2,600 lawsuits. On another website, I heard 4,000. So I don't know. So some of these, you're going to be like, huh? Okay. New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick, President of the United States, former, George W. Bush, Attorney General of the United States, Janet Reno, Martha Stewart. Like, what did Martha do? NASCAR driver Jeff Gordon, former Atlanta Falcons quarterback Michael Vick, Steve Jobs, Perez Hilton, Somali pirates. What did they do? They kidnap him. And pop star Britney Spears. He also sued the late Benazir Bhutto, Perez, I don't know how to say his name, sorry, Musharraf, and the Immigration and Naturalization Service. And this is why. This is why he sued the Immigration and Naturalization Service on November 7th, 2007, right? To prevent him from being deported to Pakistan and tortured upon his release from prison in March of 2012. So he thought the United States was going to deport his ass when he got out of prison. And they were going to send him over to Pakistan to be tortured. Thank you, Nate, for becoming a member. I just saw that. Thank you. Yeah. I don't know, people that are just coming in, if you guys didn't hear earlier, he super chats alone. For the month of, so for the month of January, 1,792. That's still so much. I cannot believe it. But you want to know February? $33,178 just in super chats. That's not talking about his views, his millions of views that he was getting. It's crazy. Yeah, he tries to sue Ghostbusters. We could name them. We could name them all day. Kim Kardashian. I mean, I think he was trying to sue Donald Trump. I thought he liked Donald Trump. 2000 or on April 9th, 2008, Richards filed a request for a temporary restraining order in the U.S. District Court against Grand Theft Auto publisher, Take-Two developer, Rockstar Games, claiming that the defendants put me in prison. I ain't never heard that before. He tried to sue. He tried to sue them for putting. He said, "You put me in prison. You put me in prison. Damn you, Grand Theft Auto, with your prostitutes and your cars." That's what we used to do. We used to just pick up the prostitutes in the cars and stuff when we would play. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm getting heated. I'm like, laughing. So then defendants contributed to plaintiff committing identity theft. Defendants games show sex, drugs, and violence, which offends me. Richards continued. Defendants put me in prison. I face imminent danger from violent inmates who played Grand Theft Auto, who will knock me out and take my gold Jesus cross. Sorry. You ain't taking that gold Jesus cross in prison, honey. They ain't giving you that. You think you could wear your gold Jesus cross in prison? That's cute. You better start making one out of your hair. Richards attempted to intervene as a plaintiff in the Madoff investment scandal, claiming that he met Bernard Madoff at eHarmony. He met him on eHarmony.com in 2001 and taught Madoff identity theft skills. It gets better. It gets better. Just wait. Get your popcorn. In 2009, Richards filed for an injunction against the Guinness World Book of Records, seeking to stop them from listing him as the most litigious. I can't say that. I can never say that word. Okay, I'm going to make it say it for me because I can never say it. Litigious. That's the word for the day. Individual in history. Guinness spokeswoman Sarah Wilcox told the Huffington Post that there's no such listing and no plan to create one. No litigious man is not something Guinness World Records has ever monitored as a record category. The action, like the vast majority of Rich's filings, was dismissed. So he was mad because they didn't put him in the book. I'm going to start suing people. I mean, how much is it to sue someone? How is he suing all these people? Is it free? Is it free to sue someone? Like, it's got to cost money. And how's he getting the money? I want to know, where's the money coming from? And welcome in, everybody. Oh, yeah, he has memberships. Oh, yeah. Someone's going to sue JLR for PTSD. Oh, they will. These older women that are giving them all their money, and when they're on a fixed income, I feel bad for y'all. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not do it. Okay? Because don't. My mom was on a fixed income, and I know what that's like. And I know what it's like to not feel like, or to feel like you're a part of something and you want to be a part of something. That's not what you want to be a part of. You're going to regret it. There's some creators you give money to on this platform and you freaking regret it. Sometimes it takes a couple days, sometimes it takes a year, but you'll regret it. I mean, you just do. It sucks. Because there's a lot of people on this platform. They're just not good people. Oh, okay. This is what I wanted to show you the other night. It's going to describe it for you, but I couldn't because it's way too it would take my channel down probably on YouTube. And you know me, I say all the words. So this is like something I was like, I definitely can't do. So it says some of Rich's defendants are not even persons subject to suit. These include Adolf Hitler's National Socialist Party and the 13 tribes of Israel. He did a video acting like he was like a German soldier or something. He had like a Nazi swastika thing around his neck. and he was doing the signs that we don't do. You know what I mean? He was doing them. He was doing all of them. There's a video out there. I saw it on TikTok and I was like, or not TikTok, on X, and I was like, oh my God. Like, it's like, it just gets worse. So then one lawsuit in which George W. Bush was the first named defendant also includes another 790 defendants that covers 57 pages. They include Pato Nostradamus. Oh my gosh, these are all people like that I can't pronounce. Che Guevara, James Hoffa, various Buddhist monks, the monks, all survivors of the Holocaust. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. That takes the cake. All survivors of the Holocaust. Are you out of your damn mind, JLR? Come on, dude. There's some things. This is a lot. This is a lot. But you're going to put the Holocaust victims in there? You're going to hell. I'm sorry, you're going to hell for that. You better start praying for forgiveness for everybody. Oh man, that's bad. You better, between the video that I saw with you doing the Hitler, we're gonna call it Judge Hitler stuff, you know, like Idaho 4 Judge Hitler. We're gonna call him that. Because we don't have to say the names that they hated on YouTube. But like, for you to be doing that, those signs and acting like him, and then you sued the survivors of the Holocaust. The Lincoln Memorial. How do you sue the Lincoln Memorial? The Eiffel Tower, the USS Cole. That sounds like a boat. The book Mein Kampf. I don't know that. The Garden of Eden, the Roman Empire. Oh my God. The Appalachian Trail, Plymouth Rock, the Holy Grail, Nordic gods, the dwarf planet Pluto, and the entire 3-island accident. Oh my goodness. You missed the spunky lady? Mike, it's been a while. It's been a while. This is fun. This is crazy. He Nostradamus. Who hasn't he sued? That's what we should make a list, right? We need a huge whiteboard. But actually, we just need a small one. I have one in the closet. If we're just gonna do people that he hasn't sued, we could do that easy, right? People that he has sued. It's a lot. A number of Rich's lawsuits have been dismissed as being frivolous, malicious, or for failure to state a claim upon which relief could be granted. It says, opine that his lawsuits were clearly self-promotional. He is barred from proceeding in form of, I don't know what this means, but meaning the character or manner. Oh, to proceed in court without payment of the usual fees associated with the lawsuit. Yeah, he can't do that no more. In 2018, July, Riches was indicted by a federal grand jury in Arizona. He is charged with making false statements and other frauds after an attempt to file a lawsuit against Gabby Giffords, while posing as Jared Lee Lohner. I don't know who that is. An American mass murderer who pled guilty to 19 charges. Who's she? Oh, she was the one that was shot. Remember the lady that was shot? He filed a lawsuit on her? Man, y'all be careful around people. Some people are better at hiding it than others, you know? But it always shows in the way that you act. Like, you can't be fake all the time. Like, and it pops out. Like, it just, you know what I mean? It just does. And he'll probably sue me. I'll probably get a cease and desist, but that's fine. I mean, he said he's going to sue everybody that's talking about him. A collection of Rich's lawsuits was published on April Fool's Day. I love that. Maybe I get that. Where's that at? Now it's called Now Comes the Plaintiff. In November 2018, Rich's self-published Nothing is Written in Stone. Actually, I know some things that are. A Jonathan Lee Rich's Companion, which contains a selection of his lawsuits as well as an autobiography that he wrote. Rich's runs a YouTube channel, JLR Investigates, where he claims to be an investigative reporter. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he tried to do Kanye West. Yeah, he really sued a lot of people, didn't he? Yeah, he always will be. Okay, so I might, let's see. I don't know if I need to play it from the beginning. Oh, we will. I missed this little deets. I haven't seen this in such a long time, and it's when she was like that little character before, like, you know, she like came on as herself. I don't know. This was like this is how I like remember like being introduced to her. So I want to play you this video because it is very important. I promise you, you're going to be like, what? And you're going to be surprised. If it's a little slow, we'll speed it up a little bit. I might not play the whole thing, but I'm going to get you guys a good idea of what's going on, and we'll probably play it all though. It's pretty interesting. It's very. Teach's link in the chat.
Hey y'all, so I have been working on this one for about a week now. It took a little bit of time to do all the research and gather all the material, but I want to show you all why I believe that Jonathan Lee Rich's is the ultimate true crime tragedy parasite. Yes, different from tragedy pimp. I know that's the preferred term around here, but I prefer parasite. The definition of a pimp is to make use of, often dishonorably, for one's own gain or benefit. So I understand why pimp is used, and the saying, you know, tragedy pimps, I get that. But parasite makes a lot more sense for me, because the definition is an organism living in, on, or with another organism in order to obtain nutrients, grow, or multiply, often in a state that directly or indirectly harms the host. But it's also the second definition that I really think sticks. Someone or something that resembles a biological parasite in living off of, being dependent on, or exploiting another while giving little or nothing in return. I saw Jonathan had posted this video last week, and I gave it a chance. I truly did. And for those who don't know Jonathan's past, you might think, oh, what's the big deal? He just went to Sandy Hook to share the memorial and everything that happened there. But it's a lot deeper than that.
So it says, welcome to the memorial honoring the lives of the victims of the December 14th, 2012 shooting at the Sandy Hook Elementary School. This is a special place of quiet and reverence, place for the families of the victims and for the community to reflect and remember. Encased within the stone is the sacred soil created from the many items left in the spontaneous memorials throughout the town on the days following the tragedy.
After reading the plaque, all Jonathan does is walk you down and show you the memorial and read off the names. I kept waiting for it, for the apology that never came. At the end of reading off all the names of the victims, he said that he was praying for them. And I want to believe that, but I just can't. I'm sorry. It felt like to me he was exploiting them all over again. It might have been in a little bit different way than it was over 10 years ago when he exploited them the first time, but it feels like he exploited them nonetheless, using them solely for content, nothing informational or educational at all about the visit, and more importantly, no apology whatsoever for what he did 10 years ago. I know he did all the legal stuff beforehand and the fishing and all that, and we'll get into it. But to me, Sandy Hook is where he perfected his true crime, parasite, trolling career. And it's just spiraled since then. For us to fully understand how Jonathan got to this trolling parasite entity that he is now, we're going to have to go back to the beginning. And everything that I'm reading, the articles will be referenced in the description under this video. Some of the articles are no longer available, but their newspaper or their affiliate will be linked also. In the early 2000s, when the less affluent, the technologically unsophisticated, and the simply reluctant masses were just starting to find their bearings online, Jonathan Lee Rich's helped develop the identity theft technique known as phishing. He was in his mid-20s, living in Florida, and collaborating with teenage chat room acquaintances in Texas, who used spam emails to trick victims into disclosing personal information. Rich's role was to monetize the data, which he accomplished by seamlessly navigating the online and offline worlds. In contemporaneous news accounts, investigators described the way Riches would stroll into a bank, flash fake identification, and coolly impersonate his mark, convincing tellers to hand over thousands of dollars in cash. The consequences reverberated widely. By the estimate of the FBI, the group charged more than $1.4 million to accounts opened in the names of about 2,000 people. Rich's own parents, who live in a small town in Pennsylvania, served probation for failing to fully cooperate with investigators. He was sent.
His mama and daddy helped him. They gave him that house too. They lives in Florida.
Sentenced to 125 months in prison for fraud and conspiracy. Riches kept up a steady legal correspondence on his case. In March of 2006, from a medium security prison in South Carolina, he filed a motion seeking the return of confiscated assets, including 23 new PlayStation video games, a commemorative Super Bowl football, 66 new shirts with tags, I wonder if they all said media, a plunger, a subwoofer, and a box of life vests. The document drew little attention or sympathy, and a judge ordered the items forfeited to the FBI for donation to Goodwill. In hindsight, though,
she said, I wonder if they all said media on them. Oh my goodness.
His signature on the sworn statement, Jonathan Lee Riches with the copyright symbol at the end, signified the start of an improvisatory publicity campaign. He used the copyright symbol that same month in a 9-page conspiracy complaint seeking damages of almost $400 trillion, backed by gold or silver. Filing his suit in the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, he named several hundred defendants, including President Bush, Pope Benedict XVI, Bill Gates, and Kofi Annan. Rich's lawsuit was eventually dismissed on the grounds of failure to pay a $250 filing fee. But a more pretentious result did emerge. His work had been sucked into the internet's slipstream with viral results. At this point, we are in the middle of 2006. At this point, his image begins to appear regularly on legal blogs such as Dreadnought, Above the Law, and even the hard-hitting Smoking Gun. One blogger called him America's favorite serial litigant. Over the next 6 years, he became...
This isn't her just recycling and going back through. These are all separate filings that he put in.
Became a world-class irritant by filing absurd, frivolous, pro se lawsuits. He filed thousands of them against anyone and everyone. The Kardashians, Kanye West, whom Rich is accused of running a secret Al-Qaeda camp, Belichick, Michael Vick, anyone. So prolific a litigant was Rich's that he became a one-man burden on the federal court system, a troll tagging the docket forever. In 2010, federal prosecutors won an unprecedented and possibly unconstitutional nationwide injunction against him to prevent him from suing, claiming that if he weren't stopped, the government would suffer irreparable harm. Riches immediately bypassed the injunction by slipping a batch of lawsuits to a soon-to-be-released inmate to file on the outside for him. The prison cracked down hard after this. No paper in his cell, no stamps. This only caused Jonathan to go on a hunger strike in protest. After 22 days, the warden had him force-fed through a tube. This just shows his dedication to misinformation. Jonathan was different. He trolled harder, unafraid to use his...
He trolled so hard. He went on a hunger strike. They had to give him a feeding tube. I think that he's stubborn. When he, yeah, look at that. Look at his eye. He looks scary there.
Name and face, often shunning a keyboard in favor of real-world trickery, all of which made him a more effective hoaxer. Now, I obviously cannot mention every single lawsuit because there are thousands. But the next couple I think are very important to mention. I would say it helps us understand Jonathan, but I don't think there's any understanding this guy. But it gives us some insight into the type of individual that Jonathan is, and it shows us the lengths that this man will go to effectively hoax, troll, parasite a situation, a tragedy. It's truly sick. In 2011, he sued Jared Lee Loughner, the defendant in the shooting of Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. His reasoning was, and I quote, "I'm in fear that if the defendant transfers to FMC Lexington, he will be placed in solitary confinement, where I'm currently being illegally detained and possibly being my cellmate, in which he could use his bare hands or a prison shank to kill me for being a moderate Democrat." In his suit, Jonathan
Democrat. Not our JLR that hangs out with President Trump. Pretends like he does. Huh?
includes a 4-page handwritten story of how he had to smuggle his complaint out of prison. It's a complicated story. It involves ants and pigeons. In 2016, Jonathan will end up circling back to Loughner and impersonate him to sue someone else. But we'll get to that a little later. This brings us to Jonathan's release from federal prison in April of 2012. He was ordered to serve 5 years of probation, participate in any mental health treatment deemed necessary by his parole officer, and pay restitution of $92,680 at a rate of $200 a month. In legal filings, he pledged to capitalize on his fame by running legal workshops and selling t-shirts. He went home to live with his parents in Pennsylvania, but his parting shot, the Loughner lawsuit, marked a darker turn. A little more than a month later, courts in several states received requests for a restraining order against Jerry Sandusky, the Penn State assistant football coach convicted of child molestation. The plaintiffs, who all typed similar accusations in all caps, included people calling themselves Jonathan Bollinger, Tom N. Jerry, and Gino Romano. In his injunction, Riches, posing as Jonathan Bollinger, a cousin to Brooks Bollinger, a former Wisconsin Badgers quarterback, alleges that on October 5th, 2002, I went to Camp Randall Stadium to watch my cousin play quarterback against the visiting Penn State Lions. Around the third quarter, I went to the bathroom. While urinating, I was approached by defendant Jerry Sandusky, who said he was traveling with Penn State and asked me if I wanted a signed Joe Paterno autograph, and I told him to leave me alone because I was peeing. And Sandusky said to me, "Let me touch it," and reached in the urinal and grabbed my penis, further saying to me, "Let me make your sexual fantasies come true." I told him, "Stop molesting me, and I'm reporting him to the police." Sandusky then left, but gave me a fair warning. "If you tell a soul I touched your penis, I will kill you," and left. Then after the game, I told my cousin Brooks, head football coach Barry Alvarez, Brian White, and Kevin Cosgrove, who the coaching staff told me they are friends with Sandusky and won't help me. I have suffered emotional distress since. I fear Sandusky is going to kill me. I seek a restraining order. Respectfully, Jonathan Bollinger. This completely fabricated injunction, ladies and gentlemen, was manufactured by the man who now covers missing children's cases. None too amused, a judge in Wisconsin
Manufactured.
identified the plaintiff as Jonathan
Does he remind you of somebody? He reminds me of someone. Tell me if he reminds you of somebody.
Lee Riches, who has vexed the court system with thousands of frivolous lawsuits before his recent release from federal prison, and whose zeal for filing
I think he reminds me of Nick the Hat. Remember, wasn't he sending prostitutes to the neighbor or something? Maybe that's why. Maybe they'd be good friends because they worked together before the Daniel Convacanti case. Maybe they could be friends.
atrocious actions against newsmakers, celebrities, athletes, and politicians continues unabated, threatening to hold Riches in contempt The judge wrote, aside from the incredibly tasteless act of filing these false accusations in light of the very real victims of sexual assault against children, the individual involved here appears to have committed a fraud on this court. The admonition carried serious consequences, including the threat of a report to his probation officer. In a letter to the judge dated July 13, 2012, Riches denied any knowledge of the lawsuit. He requested an attorney and a mental health evaluation because, quote, I don't know what this paperwork means, quote. Seriously, Jonathan?
He don't know what that paperwork means when he's filed this many lawsuits.
Can't with this guy. After this, Riches began to build his online social media presence on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. His next 3 lawsuits helped.
Doesn't he look a lot different there? With now he has no hair. Now, did he shave it? Did he lose it? What the hell? I mean, I'm not blaming. I'm not shaming a man for losing his hair. My brother did. I am not shaming a man for losing his hair. But I'm saying like that's like a lot of hair.
Bridge that gap between online hoaxes and real-world antics. His behavior was beginning to escalate. In October 2012, he posed as Selena Gomez's father and filed a federal complaint against Justin Bieber for stealing his credit card and using it to pay for a penis enlargement.
Why would Justin Bieber need to steal Jonathan Lee Rich's credit card for anything? Especially a penis enlargement. Who the hell does that? Is that even a thing? I mean, I know that we can go down that road, but I mean, like surgically, is that a thing? I'm about to look that up.
Hoax was picked up by multiple news sources, mainly TMZ, who ran with the hoax for a while. Then he posed as the brother of Kevin Federline, and that one exploded on Radar Online, and it brought a lot of attention to Jonathan.
Oh.
The third case was filed by a Jonathan Jolie, who sued Brad Pitt, John Travolta, and the Church of Scientology for, among other things, assaulting him. Jolie, meaning Riches, who claimed to be Angelina Jolie's cousin, wrote that he was hiding at the Italian embassy in New York for protection, and I'm wearing a mask. Included in the lawsuit is a photo of a masked man standing in a kitchen. He's holding a February 2003 mugshot of Jonathan Lee Riches. And then in late December of 2012, Jonathan commits the act that spurred the motivation to create this video. A decade after his first crimes of stealing personal profiles and going into banks to get cash advances from the identities that he stole, Riches begins venturing into the real world in search of material to post online. 2 days after the massacre of 26 children and educators at Sandy Hook Elementary School, Jonathan Lee Riches filmed himself driving to Connecticut. In the car, he displayed a photo of Adam Lanza, the accused killer, attached to a doll. He drove past recognizable landmarks, tried to approach the Lanza home, and turned back at a police checkpoint. Riches then drove to a makeshift
He tried to go to the Lanza home. That's sick.
memorial site in Newtown. Now, in his YouTube videos that he uploaded later online, he looked around the area for a while first. It then goes back to the memorial site where he identified himself to reporters as Jonathan Lanza, uncle of the school shooter. It was reported by the New York Daily News and other media outlets. He told journalists that the killer had been taking Fanapt, an antipsychotic drug prescribed for the treatment of schizophrenia. As photographers snapped away, Riches dropped to a knee and feigned praying for the young victims. Of course, as we all know, this was completely fabricated. Riches has no connection whatsoever to Adam Lanza, and he used this tragedy, this traumatic experience for the entire country. It's the worst school shooting, mass shooting in history. And Jonathan Lee Riches used that tragedy like a parasite. He exploited the hell out of it, and he was proud of it. Heels in the
Look at that. one knee on the ground. Oh my, praying like, man, you got a lot of nerve.
Air has this audio from a 2015 interview that Jonathan did. He
Rest in peace, Heels.
describes his actions at Newtown, and afterwards will prove how he was lying again.
I went up to Sandy Hook. Let me do it. I didn't say I did it in court, though. I tried to play the denial role, but, I was actually at Adam Lanza's window in his house and get chased off by a neighbor. I decided to get on my knees and start praying. At that point, while I was praying on my knees, I could hear the snapshot, like camera snapshot me. So I thought, okay, let me just wing this. So I just pretend I was crying. And I started crying, going hysterical, and the cameras were rolling. I get up from the memorial.
I could never. There's the difference between you son of a bitch. You know what I mean? That is just disgusting. When I go to a crime scene, it humbles me. Like if I go to one, and I've only been to a couple. I've been to like the Delphi Bridge. That I cried. Like as soon, you know what I mean? Like, because it was so emotional. There was nobody around. Of course, if there was people around, I would have sucked it up and not have, let anyone see me like that. But no one was with me but Vincent. So like, I would never. Like, what is wrong with you? Nobody would ever, but him. So I just started crying because their cameras were flashing.
And this one media journalist comes up to me and goes, "Sir, you're very emotional here. What's going on?" And then at that point, I just winged it. I'm Jonathan Lanza. So at this point, by identifying myself as Jonathan Lanza, then I started to get flooded like cockroaches. Everybody, all media outlets started swarming me, wanting an interview and asking me my take, and I just winged it. I basically said I was with Adam Lanza 2 weeks prior. We had a barbecue. Everything was fine. It had to be the medication. It had to be the fan app, and so on and so on. At that point, I started getting worried, a little scared, because I was getting overwhelmed with media. I'm not used to media coverage like that. So I basically ran off, kind of walked away from the scene, but I was getting chased by media, and I didn't know what to do, because my car was up the road and I was parked across the street from a church. And believe it or not, during that time, the actual victims of the shootings, the family, were praying in that church. And the church was basically, there was security outside the church to protect the families and whatnot. My car was parked across the street and I was running up the hill. And
okay, there's just some things you don't do. There's just some things you don't do. You don't go and park in front of a fucking church when there are parents that have lost everything. They have lost their children. They have lost their everything, their future. Everything that those kids would have done. They lost all that. And you go and park. I mean, there are some like that. I'm crazy when it comes to kids and the elderly. You just don't mess with them, like, wow.
He was chasing me, but I didn't want to get in my car because they might have gotten my license plate and realized that I was not Jonathan Lanza and identified me or whatnot. So I just looked at the church and I just ran to the church. And at that point, the security saw me and must have realized that the media were chasing me because I was a victim's family member or somebody. So they grabbed me, the security, and ushered me into the church and told the other media to back off the property. And I get into the church and I was thanking them, "Thank you, you saved my life. These people want an interview from me and whatnot." I said, my nephew died from this tragedy, and I switched the role playing at that point. Now I become a victim. There's victims' family members flooded in there, praying. And one of the preachers, or I don't know who he was, he must have been the head preacher there, comes out and talks to me, and I said, "Look, you don't even understand, these media here are trying to get an interview from me, whatever like that, and I need your help." So he brings over a big gentleman inside the church, and he goes, "This guy's a retired
lied to the preacher? You're going to hell."
Police officer. He's security here. Give him the keys to your car. He'll pull it around back, and you can get in your car and leave." And I was at that. For a second, I was going to give him my keys, but I realized on the front seat of my car was Adam and Ryan Lanza dolls that I had. So I said, I can't go that route. But I said, I need some help getting out of here, whatnot. He said, well, come down to the basement. I'll give you a change of clothes, like a disguise. And this guy here, he had like some escort guy. He said, he'll take you through the woods, through the town, down the street, and you can go about your way. And I said, okay, cool. So I put on a different outfit, went out the back door of the church, and we started walking in the woods. And then I realized how, this is ridiculous. This is cold, whatever. So I just gave my keys to the guy that they had with me. I said, look, dude, here, just take my keys. This is my car. It's across the street from the church. Bring it down here right now, whatever, like that. I got lucky because on my front seat, the dolls were there, but I had a towel over the dolls. So he didn't get to see the dolls. So I start driving off. I see the media still outside the church. I drive down to the high school because the word was Barack Obama was going.
Was he going to give the dolls to Adam Lanza because he was at his bedroom window and the neighbors chased him off? That's what he said earlier. That's weird.
To fly into town and talk to some of the victims' families. He was flying. So I actually parked down the street from the high school and went through the woods up to the high school where there were some media people already camped out there. And I was there for a while. I was there for about an hour or two, but then Secret Service came. They came early before Barack arrived and started sweeping the property. So Secret Service, they asked me up for my media credentials. They asked me who I was, and I told them, oh, I'm media. I'm an independent journalist. And they asked me for my media credentials. I didn't have any and stuff like that, so I got escorted off the property. That was around 4 p.m. that day. This was Sunday, the 16th. The 14th was on a Friday. Sandy Hook was on a Friday, so this was the 16th on a Sunday. It was later on in the day, and I started seeing pictures of me viral online, kneeling at the memorial and whatnot, news programs at Jonathan. But then I guess something happened in the next day or two where people started realizing, I wasn't who I was, and then that started going viral. A lot of these places that put me out as Jonathan Lanza started retracting it. I just think it's amazing that a media would actually put me out there as Jonathan Lanza without me providing them any credentials and, just saying who I am. I mean, that's a classic form of media trolling and incompetence on the media's part, I would say. Mm-hmm. So that was the deal. Basically, I posted the videos up on the Facebook, local police department. I don't know some way somehow I get some calls now to my police department that says the videos are all mine. And then I'm just taking a shower. I guess it's on the 19th of December. And there's a knock on my door, and there's about 20 police officers at my door ready to detain me. And I haven't seen the light of day since.
So Jonathan's first lie was that he was at the window of Adam Lanza and a neighbor ran him off. Well, thanks to his own recording, although this is not from him, it's another YouTube channel had it posted, and it was also on a news site. But from his own recording, that's not what happened.
Jonathan Lee Riches.
There's the dolls.
And I'm here with my friend Adam and Ryan Lanza. And we are at Bresson Farm Road, and we are going to the neighborhood of 36 Yogananda Street in Sandy Hook, Connecticut. We are going to go to the house of Ryan and Adam Lanza.
Okay, I removed the audio and sped this next part up because all he's doing is driving up to Adam Lanza's house with his creepy ass dolls. I wanted to leave the audio on the first part to prove to you that it is in fact Jonathan Lee Riches. You can tell that from his voice, but there's also a part coming up where I will freeze it and you can see his face. So we know it's the day he went to Sandy Hook. He's attempting to go up to Adam Lanza's house. He gets turned down by law enforcement, other people protecting the house, and asked to leave. There is no neighbor. He didn't go up to any window. He never even got out of the car. Just more fabrication from Riches. Everything. This man does is a made-up story.
Oh, I was muted. I said, I don't know why people lie just to lie. I mean, really, lying just to lie. That's just the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Well, I just got kicked out. The guy told me to turn the camera off. And we just got kicked out. Just let us go. I don't know what's going on there. How do you feel about that? I had to throw the dolls down. Oh, I'm sorry. I ruined your face. I'm sorry I ruined your face, Adam. Anyway, this guy here told me to turn the camera down. Turn the camera off.
There's a couple other lies that Jonathan tells us in that audio clip, right? There's about 30 minutes of video from his trip to Sandy Hook. I'm not going to share all that because it would just be ridiculously long, but there's a few pieces of audio I really want you to hear.
You'll see there, down that street there, it's Sandy Hook Elementary School. Police are not letting anyone go past there unless you are law enforcement. I believe they're trying to cover something up. I believe this whole incident was a false flag attack. I believe that Adam Lanza was mind controlled by the Illuminati or possibly by some sort of New World Order global elitists. I'm here as a truth seeker to figure out what's going on and to find answers, because this will affect every American with the taking away of their civil liberties and the disarmament.
There were multiple memorials around Sandy Hook, and Jonathan visits them all.
Jonathan Lee Bridges, Sandy Hook Elementary School.
If he thinks Adam Lanza is freaking innocent, then why is he going over here to the kids' memorials? You sick freak. I mean, I'm sorry. That's just sick.
The front
Get
entrance.
out of there.
They're not letting anyone in.
And look, he ain't got no flowers to put down or nothing. You went there empty-handed? That is just that's disgusting. I'm sorry. I'll say it. I'll say it. You're gross.
Adam Lanza was a victim of a mind
You
control
always take some
experiment
flowers.
orchestrated by the Illuminati. And I'm here to solve the puzzle. Jonathan Lee Bridges. And today is December 16, 2012, and I'm behind the crime scene. I've made it behind the police. And this is downtown Newton, Connecticut, site of the Sandy Hook school shooting massacre.
So we've heard twice now that he was unable to get access to the school. Praise the Lord. And we're about to hear it for a third time.
And I was just down at the Sandy Hook school, but they wouldn't let anyone in. They got it blocked off.
Jonathan claimed in the audio that he was accosted by media and chased to a church because his car was parked across from the church. That's not true, because we'll see at the end of this clip where his car is parked. The church is much farther down if you look at the map. He also claimed that he's changed his character for a third time and was taken through the woods and hid out to go to the school because he wanted to see Obama. And I think in the audio he said it was around 4 p.m. We can tell from his videos that he is there early in the day. We can tell from news reports that when he tells them he is Jonathan Lanza, it's in the mid-morning hours. And then he has video of himself leaving the area that afternoon. So again, nothing but lies from this man. Lies about the horrific hoax that he did. It's just ridiculous.
And if you notice, going over to my car, and I'm going to show you something. Look at all these news meetings. But when we go into my car, what do we have here? What's under the masks? Yeah, it's Adam and Ryan Lanza. And we're together in downtown Newton. And I'm here to seek the truth.
This clip is from the day before, on the 15th. He had planned to go to Newton. He's with his creepy ass dolls again, and then he burns a picture of Sandy Hook School. At the end of Heel's audio clip, there's a part that I cut off, and it's Bullhorn Betty claiming that Jonathan was brilliant for doing this. It's actually kind of smart if you think about it. She says he's proving that the media doesn't do a good job of fact-checking their sources. I'm curious.
I wonder if this is when they started hanging out. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Betty knows what I mean.
Curious how often Betty or Jonathan or any of these tragedy parasites fact check their sources. But what Jonathan did 10 years ago and what he is still doing today is akin to what Alex Jones did to the victims at Sandy Hook. You are making a mockery of this tragedy. This is not an individual who is a self-proclaimed advocate for anyone. This is truly just horrible, and it continues to get worse. A few days after Sandy Hook and posting his videos on social media, because we know that's what Jonathan does, his probation officer saw them, and you can clearly see his face in that one video. He violated his probation. This article states, Jonathan Lee Riches of West Goshen Township appears before Chester County Court Judge Jacqueline C. Cody on Thursday morning, accused of violating his probation by traveling to Newtown, Connecticut in December without permission. He told the judge he suffered from mental illness and does not always follow his prescribed regimen. I know that I have to take my medications, he said. I need treatment, Your Honor. He acknowledged feeling better since his incarceration, a contradiction to a letter one of his many followers posted on Facebook, in which Riches allegedly complains that Chester County Prison was starving him and keeping him in isolation, accusations the prison empathetically denied. Assistant District Attorney Andrea Cardamon told the judge that the offense marked Riches' fourth probation violation since 2000, a history of disturbing infractions that was interrupted while Riches spent 10 years in federal prison for duping AOL customers into giving him personal information that he used to make fraudulent purchases. He was paroled in April. In addition to making harassing, obscene phone calls, Riches has filed forged documents claiming he was working for an Illinois law firm, posted personal data, including a social security number of his probation officer online, and demonstrated a kinship with recent mass murderers, Cardamon said, recommending a 1 to 5 year state prison term. Defense attorney Robert J. Donatoni acknowledged that his client needed to be punished. However, he urged an 8 to 12-month county sentence. He pointed out that Riches' behavior also prompted a federal detainer. The federal government is waiting to see what happens here, Donatoni said, suggesting that the federal system's medical facilities are better equipped to meet Riches' needs. He's mentally ill, Donatoni said. I don't say that as an excuse. Bullying is downright narcissistic, shameless, and disgusting.
Where were we? Okay, we were on this part. I know we were back here somewhere. Okay, right there. Sorry about that. Okay, I don't know if I was muted, so.
Pointed out that Riches' behavior also prompted a federal detainer. The federal government is waiting to see what happens here, Donatoni said, suggesting that the federal system's medical facilities are better equipped to meet Riches' needs. He's mentally ill, Donatoni said. I don't say that as an excuse. I say it as a statement of fact. Donatoni said Riches was delusional enough to file record number of lawsuits from federal prison, citing a suit against Hurricane Katrina as an example of his client's tenuous grip on reality. The suits, many of which garnered headlines, were so frequent and frivolous that a federal injunction was filed and Riches ended up in solitary confinement, Donatoni said. Before issuing her decision, Cody watched a brief portion of the YouTube video that landed Riches back in prison before indicating that she had seen enough. In the video, Riches talks about being a truth seeker who will determine how Lanza was mind controlled to unload his weapons on school children. I know mental illness is a difficult thing to live with, said Cody, but she said things have been getting worse and worse to the point of causing serious emotional harm to a lot of people. Rich's parents and a family friend attended the hearing. Also in the courtroom was West Goshen Township Detective David Maurer, one of the officers who has fielded concerns from people across the country about some of Rich's postings. Police said they have been monitoring Riches since his release in April. In fact, that vigilance generated Thursday's hearing. While watching the December video in which Riches describes approaching the Connecticut residence of Adam Lanza, officers saw Riches' face briefly when he dropped the video camera. Because Riches had not notified his probation officer of the trip, he was cited for the violation. After the hearing, Donatoni said he is concerned that Riches will not get the help he needs in state prison. He said he expected federal authorities to impose an additional penalty, although no hearing has been scheduled. He said that term could be consecutive to the Chester County sentence. A strictly penal sentence will not serve anyone. He's seriously mentally ill, said Donatoni. He needs to be in a place where he can get treatment so he doesn't get worse. Cardamon said she was pleased with the sentence, in particular because it prioritizes the need to protect the public and the community. She said both Chester County and the federal authorities have been attempting to address Mr. Rich's mental health needs for over a decade. The sentence imposed by the court today ensures that the community will be protected while these efforts continue. I don't take the claims about Jonathan's mental health lightly. However, I also don't take what is happening to these victims lightly either. And maybe you're saying the same thing that Betty says here.
A shooting that happened in
Sandy
and him making a joke of it and that type of stuff. There's been no answers for that.
But when you realize that was over a decade ago, and you realize that was like 12 years ago.
So, okay, yeah, this was over a decade ago. I get that. I would like to point out to Betty and Jonathan that they have harassed people whose criminal records are well over a decade ago as well. Lots of people. But it's okay for Jonathan? Let's go ahead and see what he's done since then, though. Has he changed his behavior? Jonathan spends 3 years in prison for that parole violation. I can't find much on him during his time in there until the very end. On March 18th, 2016, Riches knowingly and willfully made, used, and filed a false and fraudulent writing and document falsely and fraudulently posed as Jared Lee Loeffner. In the phony lawsuit, Riches sought $25 million in punitive damages from Giffords for emotional and psychological distress. While posing as Loeffner, Riches said Loeffner was illegally incarcerated based on false statements by Giffords. He also couldn't help himself, and he had to get involved in filing a lawsuit on behalf of Jason Dalton, the Kalamazoo spree shooter. Multiple media outlets reported about the jaw-dropping $10 million suit that Jason Dalton, the alleged Kalamazoo spree shooter, had purportedly filed against ride-sharing company Uber. Dalton, a former Uber driver, stands accused of killing 6 people and wounding 2 others between passenger pickups on February 20th in the western Michigan town. News of Dalton's supposed suit came days after police revealed that during an interrogation, Dalton claimed that he was possessed by the devil through his use of the Uber app. In the multi-million-dollar suit, Dalton alleged that Uber had subjected him to a hostile work environment, and that working for the company had ruined his life. When it was discovered to be a hoax and Riches was called out, this is what he had to say for himself. I, Jonathan Lee Riches, wrote the lawsuit. I drafted it up and it got sent to the courts. And I'll tell you the reason why I've done it. This jerk here ruined a lot of families. He hurt a lot of people. Do you understand? And now he's sitting in jail at the taxpayer's expense, sitting comfortably in solitary confinement. He's sitting there eating commissary and just sitting nonchalantly. Well, it ain't happening. I'm speaking up on behalf of all the victims of this tragedy. My intent was to file the lawsuit, not necessarily to fool the media, but I wanted to create a lot of hostility towards Dalton. He's sitting in prison comfortably. You know, if you file a bunch of lawsuits in an individual's name, the clerk of court and the court will pretty much authorize the prison to take $350 out of that person's account because they have to pay the filing fees. This is in reference to the 1996 Prison Litigation Reform Act. So what I'm trying to say is the more lawsuits that get filed in Jason Dalton's name, the clerk of court and the courts will send a notice to the jail or the prison, wherever the individual is, authorizing them to take $350 out of the prisoner's trust account. Therefore, Jason Dalton can't get no commissary because his account will be frozen. He'll be so in debt to the courts. I hope people all around the country file suits in his name. I'll continue to file suits in this man's name, and I strongly encourage other people to do it. Dalton might be a monster, but what Jonathan did
Yeah.
is he turned him into a victim of Jonathan's crime. There are 2 more lawsuits that Jonathan did before he was released
That's what a lot of people do.
from prison that I want to share with you. And it might be repetitive of me to go over these suits, but I want you to realize the scope of what Jonathan has done, the torment that he has put on people. And I know he probably thinks these lawsuits are a victimless crime, but they're not. In this handwritten lawsuit, Jonathan poses as a man named Jahidi Shitz. I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's what it looks like. And he sues a couple that have recently won the Mega Millions in Tennessee. He alleges that he was in contact with their daughter Tiffany, as well as the winners themselves. He states that he lent the money to Tiffany Robinson for the winning Powerball ticket that her parents purchased. Some of the comments made by Jonathan in his lawsuit go beyond frivolous. He actually tries to claim that he was in personal contact with the Robinsons' daughter, Tiffany, and that he wanted her to be his Muslim bride, to leave America with her and live in the land flowing with milk and honey. The lawsuit has caused many
Was he Muslim now? Democratic Muslim?
alarm and sparked conversations regarding the safety and security of lottery winners, especially those who win huge amounts of money like the Mega Millions and the large Powerball jackpots like the Robinsons did. This is what Jonathan wrote in that lawsuit. I am the actual true winner of the Powerball jackpot. For the last 2.5 years while I was incarcerated, I was pen pals with Tiffany Robertson. She was a fan of mine and a Facebook follower, and she wrote me dirty letters, which I have as evidence. And she said she wanted to marry me when I got out of prison. Tiffany told me that no one on this earth treats her better than me, and then I sent her $20 from my prison trust fund account and told her to use the money for Powerball tickets, because if we win, we will leave America and live on a remote island full of milk and honey. And I told Tiffany to give my money to her parents, Lisa and John Robinson, to buy Powerball tickets because they couldn't afford to buy. And they promised me if they won any Powerball, I am entitled to half the winnings. Now I find out this Robinson family won the Powerball. Tiffany changed her number. The whole Robinson family defriended me on Facebook. I am not in prison no more. He was in a halfway house at this point. I am a practicing Muslim, and Tiffany was going to be my Muslim wife. And now I'm homeless. I had to borrow pen and paper to write this restraining order. Now, the whole Robinson family are going to run around this earth spreading Powerball money that belongs to me. I am so heartbroken by this injustice. I feel Tiffany conned and bamboozled me and manipulated my love for $20 and sold me out. Now she is laughing at me while I collect crumbs. I had to go to a psychologist to get depression medication because of Tiffany Robinson. She's responsible. I seek a restraining order against the Robinson family collecting any Powerball money. The money belongs to me. I paid for the winning ticket. I seek a full congressional investigation. I seek half of the Robinsons' earnings. I pray for relief. If we have learned one thing from Jonathan's lawsuits, it's that he can easily conjure up a story, a narrative, twist facts to bend in his favor. And we see him do this frequently now in true crime. It's disgusting. The last lawsuit that Jonathan Lee Riches files before leaving prison halfway house situation that he was in is kind of ironic, but he files a suit seeking an injunction and a temporary restraining order to stop Donald Trump from running for president. I can't even. The reason it's ironic is what he spends the rest of his year doing.
Isn't it ironic?
We're going to get into it. After his release, Jonathan spends the rest of 2016 and 2017 perfecting his skill. I don't know what else to call it. He becomes very prolific in social media, creating multiple Facebook accounts, YouTube accounts, Twitter accounts to troll people with, even to troll himself at times. Very odd behavior, a behavior that I believe he continues to this day. But he also starts to go quote unquote real life. Although his past crimes affected real people, they truly did. What he begins to do though is actively attack people on social media and cases, of course. It's very evident that he is drawn to whatever the hot topic is of the time. He attended the Bill Cosby trial in September and offered Cosby Jell-O every time the rapist entered and exited the court. This is
my God.
also when Jonathan takes the opportunity to jump into the political world and troll the shit out of it. One particularly successful ruse was posing as a Muslim and attending political events. He did it at a Trump event in Pennsylvania on October 1st, 2016. And then just 3 days later, he was front row at a Hillary Clinton town hall in Haverford, Pennsylvania, representing Muslims for Clinton. That appearance led to Riches being featured in the lead image of a Breitbart story, attacking the Council on Islamic American Relations, a Muslim civil rights and advocacy group that the political right has used as a boogeyman to whip up Islamophobia. While all of Jonathan's political trolling is downright narcissistic, shameless, and disgusting, this situation at the end of 2016 sheds a lot of light into who Jonathan Lee Riches truly is. After Trump won the election, Jonathan took to trolling anti-Trump protests rallies that were happening around the country. He also started doxing anyone that would post that they were having an anti-Trump rally. When he posted Nicole's photo, the comments under it were so horrendous. He also outed her previous employer, thinking it was her current one, and within a half an hour, over 600 bad reviews were made on the previous employer's business, which led into a lot of problems for Nicole. The previous employer calling her, talking about lawsuits. It was just despicable. Nicole tried going to law enforcement, but multiple agencies told her basically because her information was online, there was nothing that they could do about it. So Riches continued doxing people. Jonathan continued to ag on the people in the group, telling them to expose her. Her previous employer even ended up doxing her new job when he was replying to a comment, and the group found that and ran with it. Law enforcement told her not to go into work because they were so worried about all the threats that had been made to her. At this time, Jonathan's Facebook posts became increasingly pro-Trump, but with racist rhetoric. He made a post that said, "It will be bigger than Berlin's Wall and bigger than an N-word's penis." In another post, he said, "I hope Donald Trump doesn't deport my illegal Mexican ex who lives at," and then he posted her address. Jonathan took to creating fake Facebook pages like this one to lure in marks connected to real events. Him and several other trolls created multiple Covington-related pages, pretending to be Sandman himself, and then go on there and bash the elder Nathan Phillips. People actually believed that this was the real Nathan. Situations like this make me wonder how often he's doing it now in true crime to the victims that he is covering, quote unquote. Jonathan once again gained national attention when he lied and wore this yarmulke and a Star of David t-shirt with the words "Jews for Trump." 4 days before this, a gunman, allegedly a white nationalist, had murdered 11 people in the Tree of Life synagogue in Pittsburgh. Jonathan told the reporter, "I sometimes have visions of potential confrontations with Proud Boys, or with white supremacists, or with some other Trump supporter who might not appreciate having Jews around. But it's never happened. To be honest, everyone I meet at the rallies feels like family." The material was just too good for every news article not to publish it, right? Until it turned out that it was a complete hoax. And a few days later, the New Yorker had to take the article down when they found out that Jonathan Lee Riches was indeed not Jewish. In November, Riches released a book about his litigation exploits called "Nothing is Written in Stone." One of his co-contributors also writes for white nationalist publications. In 2019, Luke O'Brien, a reporter for the Huffington Post, does an interview with Riches, where he answers some questions for him. I think it's important to go over these answers again, just to give us a little insight into this bizarre mind. Luke asks, "How long were you in prison?" Riches says, 10 years. Got out, and then I went to...
He like got rid of the Muslim kind of beard and went full on country. Nothing wrong with country. But he's like fake country. He's like just got a beard and a hat, and it's like you just got a beard and a hat, and it looks really bad.
Sandy Hook and left the state without permission, so I violated probation. I got 3 years for a violation. I actually went up there like a conspiracy theorist to see what was going on. I just thought it was fascinating to go there. I actually got on my knees and prayed at the memorial. Then I got up and some reporter was in my face. Then I just winged it. I just said, "My name is Jonathan Lanza. I'm the uncle of the shooter and I'm here to give respect to the victims' families." Then, next thing I know, I get bombarded by media people. "You're the uncle of the shooter? Oh my God, oh my God." They're putting cameras and microphones up in my face. I gave like a press conference there. I drive home. Next thing I know.
Do you remember when T-Rev got canceled because he had his buddy crawling into a show pretending like he was other people? I think this is a little bit worse than that. And JLR's rocking over there with 500,000 subs.
My phone's blowing up and everybody's telling me I'm on the news as the shooter's uncle. So this is the third story we have heard out of Rich's about the Sandy Hook situation. I'm guessing none of them are the truth. He just fabricates bullshit on a daily basis, it appears. I don't get what his reasoning is, though, behind it. Is it truly just a mental health issue, or is there some other sick, twisted thing happening here? After the Sandy Hook stunt, you were in prison for 3 years? Yep. At that time, I stopped the lawsuits and I shifted towards the Pennsylvania right to know law, which is like the Freedom of Information Act, but on the state level. I just kept submitting them and submitting them. Like, I want to know Taylor Swift's educational record. Every department in Pennsylvania. I want to know how many gallons of milk your milking department made in the month of blah, blah, blah. Just stupid stuff. I was just creating a clusterfuck. That was my entertainment when I was in prison. This is a lie because we know for a fact that he filed multiple lawsuits while he was in jail that second time around. But this also shows us he likes to just file FOIA requests for the simple fact of filing them. I don't believe for 1 second that he cares about the people that he's producing content on YouTube. You got out of prison the second time in May, which was coincidental because not long after that, Trump declared his candidacy. Rich's replies, "That's where I got fascinated because Mr. Trump comes and then he's just is not politically correct. He's just a candidate that I instantly paid attention to. I was looking at the online reactions to him and stuff, and then I trolled off of other people's reactions." So Trump was...
So he has no personality of his own. He just trolls and gets their personality.
Your entry point to political trolling, political and online trolling, yes, and real life trolling. Once he got the nomination, then that's when I started, especially in Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania was a hotbed state. So I was going to every single rally with anybody that was a high profile political figure. I went to a Hillary Clinton town hall meeting and they placed me right behind Hillary Clinton as a Muslim for Clinton. I shook her hand and everything. Sometimes the campaigns put people behind a certain candidate if you fit a narrative, whatever, like that. Tell me where and when the New Yorker interview happened. It was at the Fort Myers Trump rally. I was just standing in line as Jews for Trump, and this photographer came up to me, liked my shirt, and started asking me some questions. Wanted to take my picture. He was directing me. He was telling me exactly what to look at, the way I should position myself, which was strange because I never had anybody do that. So he took my picture and gets my information and says the reporter is going to get back to me. "And you were wearing a yarmulke the whole time?" Yarmulke, Jews for Trump shirt, Trump shoes, shoes that have Trump on them. And then I just told that guy, "My name is Jonah." I just took a Jewish name. I figured Jonah was Jewish, Jonah Rich. I was going to say Rothschild, but I just said Jonah Rich. "You were posing as a Jew after a massacre in a synagogue. Do you think there's anything wrong with that when so much anti-Semitism is swirling around and you're not Jewish? And people might interpret it as you making light of a tragedy." My mind at that particular moment for that particular rally was go down there, Jews for Trump, and show that Jews do support Trump. But you're not Jewish, right? No, I'm not Jewish at all. So you were creating disinformation that in the wake of an actual tragedy could be viewed, especially by the people in the Jewish community, as very disrespectful? I'm just thinking of myself in that moment.
He's also at that rally and he's sitting there on his cell phone.
With different rallies, I try to go with different themes. So I had that Jews for Trump shirt and I had that yarmulke for a while, and it was just an opportunity to use it at that time. Just the luck that the tragedy happened. I'm like, okay, I'm going to run with the Jews for Trump because of the tragedy. I don't think about the long-term consequences as far as disinformation or offending anyone, but I understand after the fact that people could be offended. My belief system shows no disrespect whatsoever towards that tragedy. This wasn't 10 years ago, people. This is 4 years ago. What did you tell the New Yorker reporter when he contacted you a few days later? We talked about my life, and I just created a whole story that wasn't even true. I come from a Jewish family. I've been ostracized from the community or from my Jewish community for supporting Trump. The only thing that was real that I told him was maybe close to my name, Jonah Rich, Jonathan Riches, and my age. I'm from Philadelphia. Other than that, everything I told him was complete bullshit. I was telling him I was going to rallies I've never even been to. I was Googling Trump rallies from 2017 to get the time and month right so I could spit it out to him. He did ask me on the phone, okay, so who's your parents? I'm also looking up the white pages, and I just find some family in Philadelphia linked to a guy named Jonah Rich in their 60s. I shot him off their names, so it backed me up. How long was that story up? Well, the next day I put up a Facebook post that said, haha, look at this, I trolled them, and then that evening it was gone. In terms of effective trolling, how important is it for you to do things in person? It's like testing my own boundaries, testing my own limits. My next troll is I'm going to start running for political office, like mayor, city councilman, sheriff in different elections, like mock campaigns. Getting out diversifies my craft. It gives me confidence to do these feats, and I like to try to test the limits. Social media has made it much easier to troll, right? I think the tools are available now that can be exploited, and it's easy to get that message spread. The disinformation that I want, I can put out there. The next mass shooting, before they identify the shooter, I can set up 10 Twitter accounts looking like news sites. And then
He does it on Facebook all the time. You know, those big Facebook groups that you'll see, like you'll see that one that has like a lot of people in it. And then you'll be like, I want to go into that one. That's 100% probably JLR's, just under a different name.
and create
Just changes the name after the case is done.
whoever I want as the shooter. And
then he
then
trolls in
use the news sites to retweet that. Vulnerable, gullible people will see that. They think it's from a news site, and then they will copy it and tweet it out. Whenever there's disasters, I also set up Facebook groups, and then just thousands flock into the groups. I encourage everyone to basically fight each other. I don't censor anything. Is Facebook aware of the groups? Facebook is aware. Every single tragedy that happened in this country since, I would say, 2015, I got a group set up in that topic. I can create fake Facebook accounts under people's names so I can be anonymous. If a mass shooting happens, I'll create a video real quick and put whoever I want to identify as the mass shooter. Put some music.
I'll create a video real quick and put whoever I want to identify as the mass shooter. So whoever he wants to make, a suspect. Watch your guys' selves, especially the men, because wherever you live, he will probably travel to that country, or not country, I'm sorry, but that county maybe someday, that state, maybe the state or the city. And he might just see you walking your dog or something and be like, that's the killer.
Music, photo edit it real quick, and then throw it up on BitChute, because I know that will be the searched word. People think of trolling in a negative way for good reason, but can trolling have a positive effect? I think if someone trolls, I think they should expose their troll to bring awareness. When I troll something and troll events, I go on my Facebook page and talk about the troll, kind of like informing everyone of what I've done. One, to brag, but also to wake people up. It provokes thought. It plugs the loopholes. What do you believe underneath all this? Do you have any firm beliefs?
Look at that.
What are your politics? I'm just an atheist from a Christian family. I don't practice any religion. I don't hate anyone for their religion. I might pretend I belong to a religion, but not to disrespect it. What
That's disrespectful just doing that.
about your politics? I made a choice. Whoever's in power, that's who I'm going to support. I just try to go with the flow. Obviously, I was in prison and I strongly believe in criminal justice reform. Do you think Donald Trump is a troll? I would consider him the king of trolls. He knows what he's doing. He knows what to say to provoke attention. He's a showman. I think he's trolling the presidency, to be honest. For what reason? I think he's just getting a kick out of it. This might be some sort of bigger thing, maybe with Russia or something. Create division, because there's no unity in this country. It's getting more and more divided. I don't know what the future's going to be like. I just think that 2019 is going to be a bloody political mess right before the election again. It's going to be tense, man. And it depends on what Trump trolls around and tries to excite everybody with. I just know whatever is going on, I'm going to be trolling. Whatever breaking news, you can expect me to troll it. In 2020, COVID hit, and Jonathan continued his political trolling, this time attending school board meetings about mask mandates in counties that he didn't even live in, not to mention the fact that he doesn't even have any children. That's okay, because you can care about political viewpoints like that without having children. But the way he acted in some of these meetings was just bizarre. He continues to this day to attend Proud Boy rallies and Trump rallies and multiple political things for both sides of the aisle. For me, this isn't about politics. I don't care what your political viewpoint is. It's about what he is doing to victims. In 2021, we saw Jonathan switch to true crime when he showed up on the front lawn of the Laundrie's household, screaming into a bullhorn, asking, "Where is Gabby? Where is Gabby?" Now, the whole world wanted to know where Gabby was, and everyone was watching. But Jonathan, he was spreading misinformation during that time as well. He went to Brian's sister's house and harassed her along with Bullhorn Betty. They both harassed her until she came out and gave an interview she had already given to law enforcement and didn't owe to the general public. But because there's this crazy person in her front yard screaming on a bullhorn while her neighbors are trying to just live, she came out and did it anyway. Jonathan claimed multiple times that he personally knew Gabby Petito's family, yet we've never seen any proof of that whatsoever. He continued creating fake Facebook accounts and fake Facebook pages. Every single tragedy that has happened across this country, I bet you Jonathan Lee Riches has a fake Facebook group for it, and he's probably spreading misinformation inside of it, or at the very least, encouraging his members to fight amongst each other. Why? For his sick, twisted pleasure. We saw later how Jonathan went to the home of Summer Wells. He's gone there multiple times. Jonathan has a sick obsession with Summer Wells. If you scroll through his YouTube, you will see hundreds, if not thousands of videos about Summer, and all of the thumbnails are odd. More importantly, though, he's spreading misinformation about that case, and that is not doing that victim any justice whatsoever. He's done it with most major cases that we have seen today. Michael Vaughn's, the Idaho 4 case, the Murdaugh case. Anywhere something is happening, Jonathan Lee Riches is there trolling like a parasite. And he has thousands of people commenting under his videos. "Thank you so much for this information. Oh my gosh, you're the best ever." What did he do? He told you some narrative that he wants you to believe, and he pointed his hand at it. That's all he did. He continues to dog.
He used to always point his hand at stuff. Sorry. But he did.
Victims around these cases as well. Right now, his sights are set on Dylan from the Idaho 4 case, and he is going at her at full force, creating narratives and stories that don't make any sense, but harm Dylan and her loved ones. For why? I don't believe that it's for super chats or money like other people in this tragedy pimp community. No, I think Jonathan derives some sick, twisted pleasure from all of this. And I think he has for a very, very long time. And if we keep feeding the troll by giving him clicks and views or attention like this, although I hope this comes across as informative to some people, but if we keep feeding the troll, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And when will he stop? When will he stop harming victims and their families? If you made it this far, and I'm sorry, I know it's long, but I hope you learn from Jonathan himself how he teaches us that he is a parasite to the true crime community. So I'm begging, please stop exploiting the tragedies in this country. Stop creating division and hate and misinformation, because there's already too much of it in our world. We don't need any more.
It's not even misinformation, right? That was the end of the video. It's disinformation at this point. It's to a point where people are purposely, there's creators out there, they're purposely putting this stuff out. Even and down to the Idaho 4 case, there are people that are still purposely putting out misinformation or acting like this case hasn't come to a conclusion. Like, we will watch body cam video, like we will do all the things, right? But I'm not going to be like, this case isn't over. Yeah, it is. He's locked up. Like, and I do my own research because I'm so scared that I'm going to get something wrong on my true crime channel. I'm one of those people. I really am terrified of getting something wrong. Like, it's okay to get stuff wrong. Like, as long as, you know what I mean? As long as it's not like you're not doing anything harmful, you know, and you come and you apologize and you make it right. You know, if you do something simple, that's, you know, fine. But I don't know. I've been like that with every, like, I don't consider this like a job, but, you know, like when I was working, like, other than my boutique, when I was working outside the house, I've always been like dedicated like that, just to anything I do, because I just always want to have, you know, be 100% on everything. So if you guys didn't hear earlier, Nerdy Addict and White Boy Radio, creator on YouTube, they went to they live in Florida. So they went down near, not in front of or in, you know, anywhere near, but it was near, but it wasn't near. You know what I mean? It was like a quarter mile or so away from JLR's, and they held up signs on the street. That's all they did. They were live streaming. You could see everything that they did. They had a mannequin out there because they said it looked like JLR. Someone is trying to say that they were like trying to make it look like JLR was going to like kill himself or something. I think that was the duct tape for the mannequin to stay together. There's a lady on the X. They had to get the mannequin to stay together. Okay. So just calm your shit, you know, because JLR stands in front of homes all the time. What, Nancy Guthrie? Do you think Nancy Guthrie wants JLR up in her house like that? Like, standing in front of her house, just doing what? What has he done? Like, I would love to know one thing that he's done to help this case, other than just sitting there. Because for $505, I could have went out there and sat. And thank you. I appreciate you saying my hair looked gorgeous. I appreciate that. Thanks, Colleen. Having a good hair day. Hopefully it lasts through tomorrow, because I'm putting some heelless curls in tonight and going to bed. I don't think Tucson wants JLR either. I mean, when the New York Post writes about you as a creator, I don't know how he's showing his face. He don't care. That's why. I would not be able to show my face around here. Hell no. I would be like devastated. Oh my God. Like, he's crazy. Is he going back to Tucson, I wonder? And how is he filing these lawsuits? Like, because it's expensive. It says on here that it costs between like 100. Well, okay, look, it says filing a lawsuit typically costs between 100 and 500 in court filing fees alone. Total cost often exceeds 10,000 for simple civil suits. There's no way he's paying that. And I can write off travel expenses as a YouTube thing. And I just exited out of something I wanted to tell you guys about and I forget. It was something he did. Something he did and got in trouble for. I'll have to look it up again. Maybe I'll go to my history. Oh, yeah. So do you guys remember, I don't know if you guys follow, like, some people follow true crime, some people don't on here, but Suzanne Morphew. I've been following that case for 6 years now. Been covering that case for 3 years, I would say now. At least 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. Probably going to be, it was probably 3 years. Probably into my second year on YouTube. So we were supposed to get that trial televised for us live. We were supposed to, not live, but we were supposed to at least get the link for the stream so that we can go in there. And what we were going to do is we were all going to watch it separately. We had talked about this going up into like the trial. We'll watch it separately. We'll come back on. We'll do a live, or as it's going, we could be live talking in the chat, and I can have some music or something playing in the background, and we could be watching it separately. I just can't have it, I said, going through my speakers. You guys can't hear it, right? Yeah, well, JLR decided to stream it, not give two shits. And he ended up getting in trouble for that. Like, he was on court documents for that. And that's why we don't have the Barry Morphew trial at all. No cameras, no nothing, not a thing. So I was pretty pissed about that because I mean, like, literally, you know, when you talk about a case or you just watch it on TV, right? Or you just care about it. You just get into a case, even as a subscriber, and then you can't see it to its fruition like that. Like, just like Lori Daybell, you know, it was all like audio. No one wanted to listen to audio. Not a lot of people listen to her trial because of that. I think a lot more people would have watched her trial if it was televised, because that case was very popular. Yeah, Colleen, I know. We're going to do a live over that. I have it right here. We will be doing a deep dive into the Barry Morphew case and trial. I said and trial, along with Rex Heuermann. It was for the True Crime Live today. So yeah, we'll be doing those. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. When he was in Sebastian's case and finding all this stuff. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's a thing. There's the thing. He gets bored or something when he gets there. He wants to troll. So he'll leave something. Like, he's not, I don't know how he does it. I mean, people got to see it. But the cat just moved my whole microphone with his back. Like, what you doing? Oh, the cat's on the desk. But it's just like craziness. Are you going to go to bed? You're like hyper still. Last night I said, get in your bed. And she did. Hey, what you doing? Don't bite me. I don't do that around here. You can't see her. Let me pick her up. We got her on Friday. we didn't mean to. She fell out of my boyfriend's Tesla. Don't know how she did that. Boom. Fell right out of the car. Probably. He probably did. He's been doing, yeah, he does everything. I know. No, after, yeah, today, like tonight's show, she's been like all over the place, but like the earlier show, she slept on her bed the whole time. And then last night on the show, she was really good. She slept on the desk, and some ladies told me to control my cat. And I'm like, I really need to tonight. I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. And the only reason why the dogs aren't in here, my girls are usually in here with me, is because we just found this cat. And we are slowly, thank you for saying she's beautiful. Thank you for saying she's pretty. We're going to slowly transition, because I have a male cat. He's declawed, but she's not. My male cat is like everything to me, like everything. Like him and Vincent are like, they're tied. Vincent might just be, no, they're tied. They're tied. I don't want him to hear that. No, he's everything. So we're going to introduce them together. Like, we're going to put the kitty in her kennel, and it's like the side of it is all mesh, so they can't hurt each other. And then introduce them, like the cats, and then introduce the dogs, because they have been getting to know each other underneath the door. The cat will put her paw up, So we've been keeping her in here, and then we just been coming in here. We have a camera in here. It keeps, it's turned. That's why. Like, why does it keep saying, like, we have a notification? So we have a camera in here for her, and then we have like perch here for her. Oh, whoopsie. No, don't leave the site. Sorry. I'm gonna hold the keyboard. But yeah, she wants to be around me. But no, so we're figuring it out. Talk cat tree for the cats. Like for her, she would love that. Like, I think we're going to get her like a cat, like more of a cat tree perch little thing. I wanted to do something on the back wall for like, I've always wanted to, or this wall, but we have the sign here now. But I wanted to do like these octagonal shapes and like these little, like, I don't know, something with wood where the cat could just like lay in the octagon, or like, you know what I mean? Or like just like climb along the wooden like planks or something. I thought about doing it like on one of these walls. So once I get sick of this little mountain thing back here, this macrame, I just got it. It's been like a year, I think, or less than a year. Maybe we'll do something fun like that back there. Because she has a lot of energy, and we're used to Rocky, and we thought Rocky had a lot of energy at 18, but he's not slow. He just goes at his own pace. Just does his thing. So if you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that'd be great. I don't even know who all became new members tonight. I know Chroma Reels dropped 5 memberships in here. I dropped 5 memberships in here. Nate became a new member. So we got like 11 new members. That's great. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys just hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel. We do talk about a little bit of everything on this channel. It's commentary. I do life vlogging. I do get ready with me's. If y'all didn't know, I'm 40. So, you know, hitting that age where you got to hit the skincare, the makeup, you know, we're hitting up all the things over here. So if you're interested in any of those things, subscribe to the channel. We do all kinds of stuff. We'll be doing a lot of commentary. We'll be doing creators that you guys know of. We'll do commentary on things that maybe creators that you guys never heard of, but I'll always try to make it as interesting as I possibly can. So thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate you guys so much. Oh, there's my cat. There's that cat. Where are you going now? She's going. She's going wherever she wants to go. She is running the show. Oh, before you guys leave, tomorrow, if you are into true crime, Caleb Flynn and Ashley Flynn, you know, the guy that murdered his wife in Tip City, Ohio, and he's the American Idol singer, and he said, I didn't do it. Someone came in and did it. It was a home invasion, but it allegedly was really him. So he has a court hearing. He has 2 tomorrow. He has a motions hearing and then a pretrial conference. I will be there for those. It's at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm going to try to get there around 8:30, 8:45 to get there early. I may hop on for a quick live if I get there early enough. I have my microphones charging. That's why I was going to sit in my blue chair tonight, but I was like, no, I'm going to charge everything. I think I got everything packed and ready to go. So hopefully they'll let me take my laptop in there. I'm going to have it off. I don't see why they wouldn't, but I might leave it in the car just in case and just use my phone if I need to. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I'll be over there on Titanium Built. That's my sign. I'll be on Titanium Built doing all of the lives tomorrow, but make sure that you're subscribed over here. You're subscribed over there. And I appreciate you guys being here tonight, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye guys.
I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the I'm coming for the throne. be my enemy. You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane, it's your mistake.